to the new water meter. Who pays for that, I wonder? New water meters, she says upon further investigation, ran about $2,000, and it's a cost passed on to the consumer. Even though in every other business, when it becomes necessary to replace equipment, it's the company that assumes the financial burden because that's just part of the cost of doing business. But with the Pennsylvania American Water Company, that cost is prorated each month as part of a customer's bill. Here in Pennsylvania, I believe that's about 3.4% each billing cycle. Okay, so what they've done here is they've clearly adopted that, you want our DVR service, so, give us $200 for the DVR, and then we'll charge your ass to use the piece of equipment. Yes. But wait. That's a specific service you've ordered. A water meter that's functioning, to me, they would have to prove that meter being dysfunctional. It would have to be by a third-party group, plumber. I don't know who you could ticket to do that. I would think likely a plumber could be, a licensed plumber would be able to do that. But wait, there's nothing. There's no infrastructure for that at all. No, there's not. No, because the fact of the matter is, licensed or unlicensed, a plumber across the board can't touch that meter by law. It's not just mandated statewide, it's mandated federally. Okay, so it's against federal law for your plumber or any third party you might want to hire to come in and take a look at that meter and verify that A, it's working correctly, or B, it's not. Well, what's up with that? A cab driver, he gets paid to drive you from A to B, right? Well, there's a meter in his car, and that meter is sealed by the state. It's sealed by the authorities. The authorities, the government, goes in and makes sure that meter is recording accurately to all of the rates and wages that it's assigned to track. Once they've verified that meter is good, they stamp it, they seal it shut with a little lead seal until inspection time next year. All the cabbies got to go through this. It's just a fact. Okay, so what's up with water meters? How come how come Pennsylvania American Water, how come American Water America can get away with just saying what they want about their meters and your consumption? 88,000 gallons in a month? Am I ringing anybody's bell here? Wow. She says, take this as an analogy. If you take your car for an inspection and it's functioning fine, but the dealer insists you need new brakes simply because they have a rule somewhere that everyone has to get new brakes at your particular mileage, would that not piss you off? She says this is the same thing. Unnecessary replacement, and the consumer bears the cost. So ultimately what's happened with her now is they've gone ahead and they're still dinging her $106 a month or an extra 60 or 80 here or there. And now she's tasked with paying a $2,000 meter onto her account. Oh, no, wait. She's not going to actually do that, so they're going to cut off her service. A fully paid account, they're cutting off her service because they're not happy with her consumption. Why are we standing for this, people? That's what I'd like to know. Moving on, our next complaint. I think this is the big one, and then we'll move into our next segment. Writer says, I went out to get the mail this past weekend and noticed a letter from the Pennsylvania American Water Company. I opened the letter and began to read. On April 29th, 2011, PAW filed a request with the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission to increase your water rates as of June 28th, 2011. The writer writes, I immediately dropped the letter and proceeded to go apeshit at the top of my lungs. I spewed a tirade laced with profanity like none ever uttered by a human being ever before. Are you freaking kidding me? Another increase in water rates. The PAW is requesting an overall increase of $71 million per year. They claim that since the last rate increase, which they believe was last year, they will have invested $533 million to improve water quality, service, and reliability. What, the writer says? You can't even drink the damn water. It tastes like crap. It smells like bleach. What on earth did they spend that much money on? Certainly not the actual water. When you are done taking a shower here, your skin dries out and flakes off because all the chemicals they put into the water. She says, I feel like a freaking alligator when I get out of the shower. I have the urge to grab onto a gazelle and pull it into the water and do a death roll. She says, I can't believe that these greedy clowns want to milk us for more money. Of course, the PUC will rubber stamp this increase like they always do. Oh, there's more PUC stuff going on there. Did you catch that, folks? Because I'm coming up to it. She says, as far as I'm concerned, the PUC is a useless organization like the United Nations. They are spineless lizards who are afraid to send these utilities packing. Well, I got a different take on that, and we'll get into that soon here. She says, so what does this increase mean to you and me? It means an average increase from $48.45 to $54.87 per month. That's $6.42 more a month out of our pockets. By the way, that's $77.04 a year, or 2 or 3 cases of beer. Beer will be needed to kill the pain of all these increases, she says. I know. I am sick and tired of footing this bill for all this stuff. If the PAW is spending all of this money, why can't we drink the water? She says, I'll tell you why. It's because the fat cats are filling their pockets with our money. I say we all need to contact the PUC to tell them enough is enough. How much more money do they need before we can drink the water? To file a formal complaint, go to puc.state.pa.us. Yes. Yeah. And then, of course, a last little side note here, a last little complaint that is noteworthy, and I should mention here before break, is Scranton just this past May 26th. State Representative Kevin Murphy, from a Democrat from Lackawanna, announced that the Pennsylvania Office of the Consumer Advocate has also filed a formal complaint against the Pennsylvania American Water Company. Murphy said that the advocate's complaint was filed with the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission after the water company proposed to increase its monthly rates charged to its customers for water service. I very much appreciate the consumer advocate's efforts to make sure this proposal and proposed rate increase receives its due attention and scrutiny in the public's eye, Murphy said. The advocate's complaint asked the PUC to halt the proposed rate increase while a thorough investigation of the proposal is undertaken. The advocate's office is also requesting that the PUC hold public input hearings in areas served by Pennsylvania American to receive comments on the proposed rate increase. If the rate increase is approved, the PAW would be permitted to increase its revenues by 12.5%. Wow, isn't that something nice for the shareholders, huh? Yeah, that's a little something else I found out on my research, and we'll get into after the break. The typical residential customer's billing using 4,200 gallons of water per month would increase from $42.98 to $48.90. The PAW provides water service to approximately 630,000 homes and businesses in 35 counties across Pennsylvania. Oh boy, wow, a whole 630,000, huh? Yeah, well, after the break, old Crash is going to tell you about his little hometown that he came from and how they're serving just about that many, and they're doing it a whole hell of a lot better. We'll be back in 2 minutes, gang.
When you have cable and can't record all your shows, you feel unhappy. When you feel unhappy, you go to happy hour. When you go to happy hour, you're up for anything. When you're up for anything, you head to a Turkish bathhouse. When you head to a Turkish bathhouse, you meet Charlie Sheen. And when you meet Charlie Sheen, you reenact scenes from Platoon with Charlie Sheen. Don't reenact scenes from Platoon with Charlie Sheen. Get rid of cable and upgrade to DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
There are machines that can do things for us. Machines that can make things for us. Machines that can see right through us. And machines that want to be us. Want to replace us. But they are not us. is one machine that makes us greater. A machine so instinctive, so seductive. It's as alive as we are. It doesn't click or buzz. It roars. Jaguar.
I always said shoes are like women. They inspire beautiful music.
But what about these?
Stilettos sound like this.
What does my fragrance inspire?
That's got soul.
Mai Tais are beautiful. They don't need music.
Bringing the stars together. That's the magic of Macy's.
HTLA Radio 1.
Thank you. Yeah. Born in the USA, huh? There it is. Anyway, welcome back to Crash Talk. You are listening to Crash Talk on HTLA Radio 1 New York. I am your host, Crash Jesus Taylor. And I'd like to welcome you back for our next segment of Crash Talk. Yes. Reservoir Dogs. Now, I've basically, in the first section there, basically outlined sort of a cross-section of complaints. These are people who are basically, well, no, I'm just going to come out and goddamn say it. They're being extorted. They're being blackmailed. They're being lied to. They're being cut off. Absolutely without, well, no quarter, really. Just, pay up or shut up. Pay up or shut up. And it's really staggering, and it's something that is sad, and it is something that I myself personally have an absolute huge problem with. I mean, imagine, if you will, my surprise, my shock, my angst upon coming to America from my home country. Yes, that faraway, exotic place of Canada. Yes. Ever since I was a kid, growing up in British Columbia, we have one utility up there that covers water. They cover electricity. And I used to think sometimes they were the great Satan. Sure, why not? You get that anywhere, right? Oh, bitching about the water bill. Oh, bitching about the cable bill. Oh, bitching about the telephone bill. Because they're bills. And nobody likes to pay them, but we got to because we like the services they provide, right? Well, growing up in BC, I had no idea how lucky I actually was. O to the M to the G. Thank you, Kate. That was a quote from my wife. It was stunning because all my life, I have enjoyed, I would say quite heartily at this particular point in my life, I've heartily enjoyed my water. My water comes from the Columbia River, which is up in the Rocky Mountains. And everybody in British Columbia, their water comes from the Columbia River. And electricity, for that matter, thanks to the advent of hydroelectric dams. It should also be noted, too, that I've stated here many times in many different shows upon reaching kind of that age of 15, 16 years old, realizing that politics was a sham and it was all BS and the system doesn't work, why do people still participate in it? And I ignored it all and carried on with my day. Which is pretty much what I like to keep doing, because, wow. Yeah. But here's the thing. Back in 1979, way back then when everything was black and white, wasn't it? Back in 79, I was first made aware that BC Hydro was supplying a good majority of hydroelectric power to California. Because their consumption is so high, what with LA and the big lights and all, right? Gotta light those lights. Anywho, In addition to all that, we have, I say we, I mean BC Hydro,